So good morning, good evening to everyone, one and all present in the call. So this is your host for today's webinar. My name is Anand Rajendran, working at Doinsis as Account Manager and Competency Head, EBS practice. So I welcome you all to the Oraclers, a series of webinars conducted by Doinsis. Through this series, we invite the Doins of the world, the leaders of the world, to share their experience and knowledge in Oracle. So this is one of the webinar conducted by Doinsis. So before I talk about the topic and about the presenter, I would like to take a brief moment to talk about Doinsis. Doinsis is established in 2006 in Chennai and Chennai, India and Texas. So we are a management and technology-based consulting company with expertise in Oracle and ServiceNow. So we have been serving our customers for the past 16 years to meet their client requirements in a most efficient and innovative way. As Doins, we believe in knowledge sharing. So we inculcated a culture that encourages employees to share their knowledge via different blogs and different communities. So our employees are presenting their purpose in various forums across the world in Oracle communities like AOUG, Collaborate, OATUG, etc. So we are proud. We are also to be proud to be certified by the Great Place to Work 2 times successive in a row. So this is about Doinsis. Today we are presenting a topic. The name of the topic is EBS Upgrade Made Easy. So this is an Oracle Apps Upgrade Analyzer tool that provides detailed assessment of Cameli objects. It provides a flexibility for the users and the client because it is powered by the Apex technology. And the tool helps the clients to list all their custom objects, understand their impact, calculate the effort required for the upgradation, and track the progress of the migration. So this tool is also capable of using it cloud as well. And this topic will be presented by Archana Raghu. So Archana Raghu has more than 15 years of experience in Oracle. She is an Oracle Cloud certified and PMP certified consultant working with us at Doinsis as a project manager. She is a very great speaker. Her presentation skills are appreciated by many. She has presented many papers internationally and nationally and received many awards as well. So before I hand it over to Archana to start the presentation, just a regular request to all the participants. During this course of this topic discussions or webinars, we will keep the mic on mute. If you have any questions, we request you to post it on the chat. And during the sessions, before we start into a next subtopic, we will call out that questions and we will be, answering that questions. So we appreciate your cooperation in that. So with this, I'll hand it over to Archana to start the webinar on EBS Upgrade Made Easy. Over to you, Archana.
Thanks, Anand, for this introduction. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good evening to one and all. Thanks for taking time and joining this webinar today. So this session is on automating and streamlining EBS upgrades. Over the last several years, we have been working on different Oracle technologies, and wherever possible, we have tried to build products to help our customers automate their business processes. So one such product is this Impact Analyzer, which is specifically built for automating EBS upgrades. In spite of this abnormal circumstances that we have, I'm glad that we are all able to connect through this webinar and we are able to continue with our knowledge sharing session. So in continuation with our previous knowledge sharing sessions in different Oracle community and Oracle conferences, we have decided to continue our knowledge sharing sessions through this webinar series. So I welcome you all for the session. So let me share my screen and start the session. And then can we have the access for me to share the screen?
Yeah, Arun, can you give access to Archana?
Archana, can you check now?
Yeah. Yes, I'm able to share now. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, Archana.
Okay. So the topic for today's session is EBS upgrades made easy, approach for automating and streamlining customizations. So just a minute, let me minimize this. Okay. So the agenda for today's session is to start with an introduction about the impact analyzer tool, and then we will move on to discuss about the challenges that organizations face then when they decide to go for an upgrade in Oracle EBS. Then we will discuss about how to identify customizations in the EBS application and also their impact. We also have a special framework for project management. So we will talk about how the project management overall is being made easy by this tool. And finally, how this product helps you in the upgrade process. With that, we will conclude the webinar session. Okay, so to start with an introduction about impact analyzer. So where exactly this product fits in? This product is particularly for organizations which prefer to upgrade their existing Oracle EBS application to the latest version. We still have some of our customers who are using Oracle 11i version. So if you are still in Oracle 11i, then you can migrate to the latest 12 versions of Oracle EBS. Or if you are already in 12.1 version, then as per Oracle recommendation, the organizations can choose to move on to 12.2 latest releases. And if organizations are already in 12.2, they can again choose to move on to the latest versions, because some organizations would have upgraded to 12.2 earlier versions of 12.2. So now they can choose to upgrade to the latest releases of 12.2. As we all know, Oracle still provides a separate path for customers who wish to stay in Oracle EBS on-premise. So other than the cloud path, if the organizations wish to continue with the EBS 12 versions, then you are at the right place, and that is that is where this product fits in. So what are the high level components that this product handles? First of all, it helps in automating the upgrades of Oracle EBS application from one version to another. We all know it is impossible to automate this complete process, but then wherever possible, we have made sure that the manual efforts are reduced, so which in turn reduces the overall timeline of this upgrade project, and this results in considerable savings in the cost. And uh, with this automation, we also provide the complete list of customizations and their impacts that the application has. What we have noticed is, from our experience, several customers are not fully aware of the complete list of customizations that they have in their system. When we initially start with the upgrade project, the customers have a number of custom components that they think they have in the system. But when we actually run our product in their application, EBS application, and when we present with data to them on all the list of customizations that they have been surprised. So this product gives in and out details of all the customizations that exist in the system. So to start with, we would like to talk about the DB full view option, which is part of our product. This is nothing but to help the database team get a complete picture of the DB server. So any upgrade project is supposedly starts with the DBA team, because they are the ones who are going to start the upgrade process. So we thought it is important for the DBA team to get the complete picture of the database server. So the DBA full view page gives you the high level overview of the database server, and it gives you the complete details of every important parameter of the database. So whatever is the current configuration that is there in the database server is provided in this page. The other subsequent feature is on the application server side. So the EBS full view page is nothing but a page which gives a high level overview on the application server. So similar to the database server, we give you the complete picture of what are the modules implemented in this EBS application, the license level, license details, and then profile set, EBS profiles related information, workflow configurations, what are the nodes available, and what are the versions, what are the release details, and then concurrent manager details. So these are some of the application tier related details that are provided in this EBS full view. This is again another useful feature for the DBA team when they decide to work on the upgrade project. So what does this impact analyzer exactly do? After providing the high level view of the server configurations, we basically concentrate on the custom objects, which are the most critical ones in any upgrade project, because the standard objects are going to be taken care by Oracle. So when we deal with the custom objects, we first need the list of all the customizations. And then over and above the listing, we do the grouping and we categorize them based on the impact. So we derive the impact based on the current system configuration and also based on the version to which the organization plans to upgrade. So it depends on what the target version you choose to upgrade. So based on that, we analyze the custom objects. We present all the objects to you in a very good, useful dashboard with drill down reports and various other graphs. And in addition to that, we also provide a good framework for project management. So this complete upgrade itself is a project. So definitely there needs to be a project manager and a team involved who's going to be working to complete this upgrade project. So we thought it will be very useful to have the project plan and estimations related features in our tool, so that this is a one-stop tool for all your upgrade needs. So we also have minute level details of managing and tracking the tasks assigned in the project. So from the high level details, we'll drill down and we provide the very low level details. So we also provide suggestions on the custom objects. So not all custom objects are straight retrofit from the source version to the target version. So some objects have to be changed because the functionality of the object changes from one version of EBS to other. So in those cases, we talk about the suggestions that are available. What are the options when you go from this version to the other version? So we provide you with suggestions. We helped the project manager track the status of the components in the system itself, in the application itself, so that at any point of time you can download the reports and track the status of the project. And we segregate the tasks based on the complexity and the priority and the status. And we also make sure that this complete upgrade statistics is provided to the customers within a few hours of the run. And the best part is that all this is available in cloud and it can be accessed from anywhere. So these are some of the highlights of this tool. So when I say it is in cloud, the next question that comes to our mind is about the data security. So we have also inbuilt data security in our application. And in addition to that, we have separate security, user-based security level access available in our application to make sure that one customer's data is not available to the other customer. So we maintain it separately. We have built metadata over the years, using which we are able to identify the customizations and their impact in our application. So going one step above, we also provide this metadata in the application for the customers to access during their upgrade project. This helps them a lot during the upgrade project when they actually retrofit custom objects from one version to another. So we provide this metadata itself in various forms of reporting. Similarly, as I said, not everything is straightforward in an upgrade project. So we cannot guarantee that it is 100% automated. So we are very transparent about what is achievable and what is not achievable. And there is also one more highlight in this, that is the dependent objects. It is very easy to just list the custom objects that are there in the application, but it is one step beyond that and a value add to tell the customer that one object is dependent on the other, because that is very critical when you are actually moving on to another version, and then when you have to test the complete functionality and the flow to make sure that everything is working as per your requirement in the new version. So these are some of the highlights that I would like to mention about this tool. So with that, we come to a conclusion about on the first topic, which is the introduction.
Arsha, they have a couple of questions from the participants. So the first question is from Mohanji. Have you used this product for any of your upgrade projects?
Okay, so to answer that question, yes, we have used it for some of our customers, and this product was originally used for 11.8 to R12 upgrades few years back, and that is when we decided that it is a good idea to develop it as a product itself, because there were a lot of customers who were coming to us for upgrade projects. So initially, when upgrade projects were being done manually, we had built this product in-house with our expertise, and then we started using this for our customers also. So now this tool is capable of handling 12 to upgrades as well. So we have evolved it over the years.
Okay. We have two more questions from Chandra Khanna. So I'll read out the first one. Is this tool analysis the add-on application like Apex customization and reports?
Sorry, Anand, can you come again?
Is this tool analysis the add-on application like Apex customization and reports?
Yes, this application is built on Apex. I'm not really sure what exactly it means by add-on, but I can explain like what exactly this application is. Basically, it is an Apex application because we have a very good skill set in Apex, and the other reason is all EBS customers, they have the Oracle database version, so Apex can be installed along with the database and doesn't need any other additional license. So this will be an add-on application which can be installed in the Apex in the Oracle database, but it will not be hosted in the customer's Oracle database. It is hosted in our Oracle cloud database. So the hosting is done in our environment, but we give the access to the customer once the application, the dashboards are available. Once we complete the run and we have the relevant data, we give the access to the customer. That is how it is done.
Okay. Yeah, Chandra, please unmute. He wanted to ask the question. Chandra, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Anand. See, my question is, some of the customers build their customizations in Apex application. Some are there in direct forms, Oracle forms. Some are in Apex application. Some reports are also developed. So will this tool analyzes that Apex application, custom applications also? That is what my question.
Okay, so if they already have custom Apex applications built in and integrated with EBS, do we analyze this?
Yes, that is the
question. Okay, fine. So see, first of all, once the Apex applications are integrated with EBS, we will be able to identify the Apex application as a customization in our application. But what exactly is the customization in the Apex, we are not doing it currently as part of our product. One reason is because, see, only if there is a change in the Apex version, there will be an impact on that application. Supposingly you are in Apex 5 currently, and you're going from 12.1 to 12.3, but the Apex version is not going to change, then there will be no impact in your Apex customizations, right? Only if there is a change in the Apex version, there will be an impact. So that is what we are doing currently.
Okay.
So Archana, the follow-up question from Chandra again. Some of the government companies do not allow cloud apps. Is there any alternative?
Okay, so currently we have this as a cloud application because that is the preferred mode by most of the customers. They want to have it in cloud so that it can be accessed from anywhere. But if on-premise is a requirement, I'm sure we can accommodate that.
Okay. I think there's one more last question, Archana, before we go on to the next one. How do you identify the custom objects if they has not followed the standard they're supposed to?
Okay, so ideally, Oracle recommends all the customers to follow the naming conventions. But even if they have not followed the naming conventions, we will still be able to identify the customizations because, as I said, over the year, we have built a metadata. So we have the we have put in intelligent, we have built some intelligent systems where the application is able to identify all the objects other than the Oracle seeded object. But hopefully the customers have not changed any Oracle seeded object. So in that case, obviously it will be lost during the upgrade. But any name other than the Oracle seeded object, we should be able to identify.
Okay. I think we'll go on with the next subsession, Archana.
Okay, thanks, Anand. So next, let us talk about what are the different challenges that organizations face during EBS upgrades. So the first challenge is, as we already spoke about, it's about identifying the customizations. So customizations can be, any different object. It can be Apex application, or it can be forms, it can be reports, workflows, etc. So we have tried to accommodate, identify all the different types of objects as, whatever is possible, we have tried to accommodate in this product. So over the years, we have been able to use it for some of our customers also. And integrations and compatibility would be the next challenge in EBS upgrades. So many organizations using Oracle EBS system will be having several integrations with third-party applications. So during upgrade project, we will have to consider all those integrations. And when you move from one version of Oracle to the other, we might face compatibility related issues as well. That is one other critical area. And then what are the impacts and the dependencies? So what are all the custom objects that we have in the system? What are the impacts of the custom objects when we move from one version of EBS to the other? And what are all the dependencies? So if there are any complex projects being implemented, then the dependencies might be more. So this in turn will make the overall upgrade project complex. And then the re-implementation strategy. So we all know, like, whether you go for a upgrade or you go for a complete re-implementation. So that is again a business call that has to be taken. So these are some of the criteria. And the other major criteria is the awareness of the new features in the new version. So it is not very simple to just move on from one version of Oracle EBS to the other. So Oracle always introduces new features in the new releases. So it is not just enough if we retrofit the custom objects that we have in the current version to the new version. It is always good to know about what are the new features that Oracle has released along with the new version. So in case Oracle has implemented a functionality and provided a seeded functionality which was not available in the earlier version, and where we have built in a custom bolt-on. So it is a very good case where you can eliminate that custom component. So it is important to have that awareness of the new features introduced in the new EBS version. So with that, we conclude the topic on the EBS upgrade challenges. So Anand, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I think there's a question from Venkatesh. How is this different from the MOS scripts that Oracle provide for identifying customizations during upgrades? Also, how is this different from other similar products in the market?
Okay, so we all know that there are several products in the market which help in the upgrade. Over the years, as I said, when we were working to build this product, we have taken a note of all such products which are helping in the upgrade process, and we have made sure that most of the features are available in our product, and some of the features that we have in this product are not available in other products also. So whenever we hear about new features being introduced, we try to accommodate that in our product. So I would suggest you wait till the end of the session, so that I could describe the complete list of features that we have, and then probably we can have a separate discussion on whether this is any different, if you feel this has got good features as compared to the other products in the market.
Shana, that's all the questions for this subsession. You can continue further.
Okay, thanks, Anand. So the next topic that we have is customizations and their impact. How can we identify them? So for the customizations, we provide a dashboard with several graphs and drill down reports. The first basic report would be the Chemly report. The Chemly report is nothing but it gives the different types of objects and the number of objects in that report. So I have given a sample graph from our dashboard. So if you see this screen, there's a Chemly report with the number of concurrent programs, executables, and then the library files and all that available in the system. So the Chemly report Chemly report provides the details on the different custom objects available. What are all the types of the objects available? So how do we identify these Chemly objects? As I said, we have built the metadata. So when you compare it with the metadata, we will be able to eliminate all the Oracle seeded objects and identify anything and everything which is not Oracle seeded. So that way we list the complete ones. And we also have the capability to remove unwanted custom objects. So sometimes there might be a lot of backup related files created which are really not being used. So we have capability in our application to eliminate such components and only show the valid ones. And then the most important thing is we give an option to download this complete list into an Excel, because before even starting with the upgrade project, any organization would want to have the first-hand information about the list of customizations that they have in the system. So we give that first-hand information here, and we also give the option to download it in an Excel file. So now the next step, once we have identified the customizations in the application, how do we categorize them and find the impact of every custom object? So for this, over the years, we have built in some logic, and then we have put in intelligence into this application so that it can identify, it can go through all the custom objects one by one, and then it can identify the impact of that object when migrated from one version to another. So in this graph, if you see, we have shown the impact in different colors. So there is a high impact, there's a low impact, there's a medium impact, and there is no impact. So there are no impact for an object. It means there is basically nothing required to migrate this component from one version to another. You can just directly migrate it and then start using it. There will be no impact. Of course, we all agree that there has to be a complete system integration testing done, but individually as a component, we identify this and then we give this information that there is no impact when migrating to the new version. For other objects where we see there is an impact, the high, medium, or the low impact, we provide drill down details. Like when you click on the object where it is showing as high impact, it will take you to the list of all the high impact objects for that particular object type, say for example a package or a form. Then it will give you the minute details on what exactly is the impact. So we clearly distinguish between sorry, we clearly distinguish between what are all the impacted objects and what are all the non-impacted objects. So with this, the first major portion of the work is done. So now that we move all the non-impacted objects separately, the estimate for this upgrade project can be arrived by separately estimating the impacted and non-impacted objects. So always the estimate is going to be different for these two objects. So we have several graphs and the reports to give the different views on the custom objects and their impacts. So based on the collective view of all these reports, the organization can then take a decision on how to go about this upgrade project. So now this is the next drill down from the graph. So once you click on a particular impact type and the object type, that will get highlighted here, and then the list of objects will be displayed on the right side. So in this case, I clicked on the high impacted package. So that is what is getting highlighted here. And all the packages with high impact are displayed or listed in the right side portion of the table. So here again, we give a download option so that if they want to analyze this particular object type with high impact, they could do so. And on a high level, I would like to mention that it includes all the application tier objects, the database tier objects, most common objects we've tried to accommodate, most common objects that are being used by organizations. So next one is the ad hoc objects. So we have had this requirement for identifying the impact for ad hoc objects. So as I said, the initial dashboard and the reports are all when you run this tool into the EBS application as a whole. So you run it in the application and you try to identify the list of customizations, and then the list of customizations, and then also their impact. But then there were cases where there were ad hoc components like forms or reports built separately, but not used currently, but they would want to have this in the new version of EBS. So in those cases, they wanted us to identify the impact for those ad hoc components. So that is why we brought in this feature for identifying the impact of standalone objects. So in this case, it can be a form, or it can be a report, or it can be a library file. Whatever might be the object type, the only requirement is to convert it into a text format and then upload it here in this page. So it is just a browser page where you can just upload that text format of the file. And on one click of upload, it is going to give you the impact analysis for that object from the source version to the target version. So any new form or report, if you are going to build, you can just upload the file here, the text format of that component here, and then validate whether there is any impact while going to the new version. Sometimes our customers have even used this for checking the new components. So the new components, they might already be developing in the new version, but they would want to just validate it once whether there is no impact. So for that ad hoc purposes, we had brought in this feature. So with that, we come to a conclusion on the customizations related topics. So do we have any questions, Anand?
Yes, Archana, there are two questions from Narayan and Vedantam. So the first one is, can you please give some examples of new features versus redundant customizations which can be muted?
Okay, yes. So, yes, Narayan. Are you asking any question? Are you going to elaborate your question?
No, that is the first question.
Okay, fine. Right. So I have got a few slides towards the end of this session where I talk about the new features. I've given some examples from 12.2. So I think in that slide, I will be able to answer your question
Okay.
on the new features. Yeah.
Okay. And the second question from Narayan is that, do you have a tool to identify the last run report to know when any custom applications or forms or reports were used so that those can be retried and not moved to the new upgraded environment?
Right. Yeah. So we don't have a separate report for that, but we have that functionality built into our tool. So if that is a requirement, we can definitely give that as a report. So as I said, we have built in that logic to our system to identify the custom components which have not been used for long. So those components we eliminate, we assume that it is not required, it is not valid in the current business scenario, that is why it is not being used. So we eliminate such components and then we don't show it in our reports. So over and above that, if we have to capture this last run and then show the last run of every object in the system, we can definitely do that.
Okay. I think we'll take one last question, Arshana.
Yeah.
So this is from Chandra Karna. So what is the basis for objects impact classification? Provide any example if possible.
Sure. So the basis for object impact is nothing but how many changes the object is going to undergo between one version to another. So that really depends on the source version and the target version, and it also depends on other criteria on how what are the modules involved and all that. So for different modules, the criteria would be different. So considering all this, we have built several algorithms which we have converted into program and then built that logic. So if you have any particular requirement at hand, then probably we can take it offline and then discuss how to go about it.
Okay, thanks, Ashina. I think we can go out with the next subtopic.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic, it is on project management and how it is made easy with this tool. So first of all, this upgrade process project is supposed to be a complex project where the estimation is the main thing. So we have provided a framework in this application using which the estimation for different objects can be done. And for the estimation, the framework expects you to do the setup just once, and after that the system will automatically do the calculation and then it will present you with a report. So this can be an input to the project management plan. And this framework for estimation is not on a very high level. You can even accommodate like minute level tasks. You can break up the activities involved and then you can add the estimates to arrive at the complete final estimate. So this helps in arriving at the total man effort for every object type, and then subsequently the project. And this again eventually led us to develop several reports and dashboards, which will help the project manager in managing the project. So this is one such small example that I have given in the screen. So for one object type and one impact type, I am trying to arrive at the estimate. And this is a sample screen from one of our upgrade. So the values need not be the same for every project. It depends on how the organizations take it forward. So say for example, we have like around 40 forms which have been developed, and out of which 10 are highly impacted, and then 10 are medium impacted, and the remaining 20 have no impact. So for these 20 of high and medium impact, we would like to get an estimate. So what we can do is, in this form, we can just define the parameters required for migration of this form from one version to the other. So you can break down the activities involved in this migration and then include different parameters, and then you will have to enter the value based on the time and effort required. So this is just a one-time setup that you have to do for one object type. So for form with high impact, you will do it only once. and then form with medium impact, you'll do it only once. So with that, it's going to completely calculate the estimate required for your project. And you can also have the users or the team that you're planning to have in your upgrade project. Based on that, that can also be counted, and accordingly there are some of the reports and dashboards that are available for the project manager to come to a conclusion and arrive at the project plan. So this is this will be very helpful for the project manager to prepare the overall project plan. So this is another example of a graph which gives a task and effort status analysis. So what we do is we also have a task management system in place. So you create a task, you create users, you create tasks, and then you map the task with the users. So when you create the task, you can also set the priority, you can set the complexity, and you can set the expected start date, expected due date, and then the corresponding features of user testing, business testing, handover, and all that. So based on all these parameters, the application helps you to track the task status from the beginning till the end. So then you can have different reports and graphs based on the user completion, the status, the priority, how many high priority tasks have been completed in the last 1 week, how many how many tasks, actual tasks have been completed, how many users have completed the assigned tasks. So these are some of the different reports that we provide, and we also allow the users to generate some reports by themselves. So we have the base data. With that, we allow the users to interactively generate some reports as well. So this overall helps the project manager to manage the project through different phases. So these are all some of the features that we have as part of the project management. And at every point, we provide the download option. So it can be downloaded to Excel. And then because some organizations, they use different tools for project management. So we enable the download Excel option so that they can use this Excel and then input it further to their project management tool. So with that, we come to a conclusion on the project management topic. So do we have any questions?
No, Arshana, I think we can go ahead with the next one.
Okay. So next topic is on, next topic is about how Impact Analyzer makes our life easy. So first of all, this application, as I said, it also introduces us to about the new features in the new version. So it is not just enough if we retrofit the custom components from one version to another. So sometimes we might have to understand the new features in the new version of EBS and then see how we can eliminate some of our custom components which are redundant, not required. I think this is a question that was asked by one of the participants. So in the next few slides, we will talk about that. So we have the features in the application to specifically suggest on finance modules, and then specific suggestions on SEM modules. So module specific functionality changes and new features released are also being provided in this tool. So these will be more of suggestions. So we cannot say for sure that this is the right way to implement. So it is a business decision to be taken by the organization. So these are the suggestions we give based on the modules being implemented by the organization in EBS. And we also highlight user interface related changes, because in some cases, like the forms have been replaced by the browser pages. So those are all user interface related changes. So that might have an impact on their integrations and other functionalities. Supposingly, if they have built any custom module or custom bolt-on, so it might have an impact. So, so we also highlight the user interface changes. And also the business process related changes, any new functionality, seeded functionality that Oracle has introduced in the new version. So I've given some example of the UI changes that has come up between 12.1 and 12.2 version. So some of the forms have been replaced by HTML pages, like the responsibility form, for example, the users form, and then the audit trail search. So these are some of the examples of forms which have been replaced by browser pages in the 12.2 version. And more and more people are moving towards tablets and mobile apps. So there are also optimized views available for such devices. And then there are also enhancements available from in the existing functionality. Like say for example, there are some enhancements done to Oracle iReceivables by Oracle. So if a customer has implemented this module, then we provide a suggestion that there is some enhancement available. So as part of the project analysis, they might go and check out that suggestion. Similarly, we have a very good user interface for order management in 12.2, which we don't have it till 12.1. So it gives a 360-degree view. So all this is not available in the prior version. So we provide suggestions to our customers using the application wherever it is applicable based on the module that they have implemented. So some of the examples are provided in the screen. So these are some of the UI enhancements that have been provided by Oracle, and some product content have been enhanced as well. So these are some of the examples from order management and inventory. And this slide shows some advanced new features and enhanced features from the finance modules. So the left tab shows the new features. So there is an integration with the Fusion Accounting Hub, and SBS integration is embedded, and then you have the real-time analytics. So all these are new features which does not exist in the previous version. And there are also some features which have been enhanced. There are some existing features which have been enhanced, and those details are provided in the right side, which are like too technical. It's purely on the finance modules. So these are some of the examples which I wanted to highlight. So these are the kind of suggestions that we provide and then highlight it to the organization as part of the application, to let them know that these are all Oracle provided seeded functionality. So if you wish to make use of them, then you can make use of them, and then see if any custom components can be eliminated in the newer version. So with this, I conclude the session, and I think I have answered Narayanan's previous question. So if there is any other question for me to take up, please do let me know.
I see two more questions in the chat.
Yeah.
So Chandra has asked, how is the security handled?
Okay, so for security, as I said, we have hosted this in cloud. So as part of cloud environment, whatever is required for security, we have taken care of that. And in addition to that, we make sure that every customer's data is stored separately. So we maintain separate database access, user access for every customer that we run. So one data is not available to the other. And again, there we encourage customers to use different logins. So based on whether the users are admin users or entry level users, we provide different access to them. So in that way, we manage access, and we also, we are also open for customizing the access based on the requirement. But overall, we make sure that the data security and the user access are all controlled.
The next question is from Narayanan Vedantam. In project management, do you have a way to track and manage go live critical SR raised with Oracle? As most of the time, the critical success factor is a solution from Oracle, which decides the go live date.
Yes, sure, we do have that. So we have a complete task management system in place. So where you can go and create tasks, and when you are creating, it will ask you for input, like whether it is complex, what is the complexity, what is the priority, which user you're going to assign it, what is the due date, and all that. So when you are creating the task, you can very well mention and associate it with an SR. So in that way, this also will become a task, and then the SR will also be tracked in the project management.
Okay, and there is one more sub within brackets here mentioned, including successful functioning of patch sets as well. So are we showing the patch sets also in the tool?
Patch sets, yes, we have a page where we show the complete family pack details. That includes all the patch details as well. But I think it's only it's like an information only page. I'm not sure if you are expecting anything more to that, but that is what we have currently.
Okay, I hope Narayan Vedatam answer your question. If not, please unmute and ask. Okay, I think he said thanks, Archana.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. We'll move on to the next question from Prakash. Does the tool also factor the API related changes?
You mean the seeded API changes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so yes, we have built the metadata to understand what are all the changes done in the Oracle seeded objects. So as part of that, we have built this repository to for us to easily identify what are all the changes in Oracle seeded objects. So that again we are presenting as in various report forms for the organizations to access while doing the upgrade project, because while doing the project they might have doubts on how this object seeded object used in their custom object has changed from the source version to the destination version. So to help them with that information, we are providing various reports to access our metadata itself. So in that we provide the changes in the API as well. So other than the API, specifically we provide changes in the tables, and not only in the tables, even column specific changes we are providing. So there will be no impact basically if there are only column specific changes, but sometimes Oracle removes certain fields. So we are going to that detail and showing the details in the metadata reports.
Okay. Yeah. Next question is from Anand Palniswamy. Does the tool work for moving from Oracle EBS to Fusion application?
Okay, so I know as of now this tool works only for Oracle EBS. So the movement to migration to Fusion application is still work in progress, I will say.
Okay, I think that is a similar question Suresh also has asked. Does the tool suggest to go for Fusion as part of the strategy? If not, now in the future? Question mark.
Yeah, we are working on it. So in the near future, we should have it ready, and we will let you all know once it is ready.
I think there's one more question from Narayan and Vedantam. Do you have a tool to track the testing results of various business scenarios with a dashboard to assess the testing status, which is also CSF?
Which is also what?
CSF.
Okay, I'm not really sure about this testing strategy, but currently the feature that we have is you can create a task for any work that is involved in the project, and then track the status of that task from start to end. So if you are expecting any additional feature as part of the testing strategy, I'm not really sure. But basically, any small work that you have as part of the project can be created as a task and managed.
Okay, I think
And
he
we
has
also have correspondingly several reports.
okay. He has also put an abbreviation for CSF. It's critical success factor.
Okay, so we have the task management in place, but nothing in particular for testing strategy. That's how I would answer that.
I hope that answers you. He said thanks, Archana.
Okay.
Okay. I think we have 5 more minutes. If anyone has any other questions, we can unmute and ask, or please put it in the chat, please.
Archana, this is Suresh here.
Hi, Suresh.
Is there any way this tool is used and where you able to estimate the percentage cost reduction in any of the project you implemented this one?
Cost reduction, meaning in comparison with the manual method?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So I don't think we have done a cost reduction or a comparison with the manual method, but what I would say is,
Or we can
so,
estimate it like no,
yeah, we
this.
can do the
Yeah.
estimate, and it is more on the more on the organization to do that, to take that decision, I would say. See, some organizations will go about these suggestions and then they will move on. Some organizations, even though there are dashboards and reports available, they would want to validate it manually once. They would want to have a team to do it manually and then move it forward. So I think it is more on the organization how you plan to implement the upgrade project as a whole. I think it lies there.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi,
Any other questions from anyone?
hi, this is Ravi. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Ravi.
Go ahead, Ravi. Yeah.
Okay, I have used some of the accelerators available in the market for some of my earlier projects. I just want to share a couple of challenges what I faced. Just want to understand how your tool is managing those.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the challenges what we had always faced is when you use this kind of an accelerator. Okay, so it is something like there are if something is developed in the middleware, like DeepL or SOA kind of things for the integration. Some of these tools were not identifying clearly about the impact on that. That is the one challenge. What I have. Then the other thing is that okay, so the project is a continuous one, like where the tool helps you to identify where do you face the problem, and subsequently we go and fix it. And when you go and fix it, then the help is required from the tool to identify have we fixed it correctly. It is something like when even the other challenge what comes out is when you fixed it, you have to move it to the R12, not in the 11.9. When you move, because that is the version where all the related tables, etc., which will exist. And so some of these tools were not helping when it was even only helping in the initial detection of the problem. And it used to even say that where the problem exists, it will even show that exactly which line of the code needs to be changed. But we had faced a problem when we migrated to after fixing it, when we migrated it, and we were not able to evaluate it using the tools. And any thoughts about how do you manage these issues? And
Yeah. So regarding your question on middleware, yes, I agree that it is a challenge. So even when we have dealt with that, we've only been able to identify the impact to some extent. So it is very difficult to identify the complete impact when middleware objects are involved. So I wouldn't say we have that functionality for 100%. So coming to the next point on the actual impact, though the tool identifies it and then we rectify, when we actually go into the newer version, we sometimes face the problems. That again, we have also faced similar kind of problems. So even though we try to accommodate to the maximum extent all possible logic to make sure that whatever suggestions we give work 100% in the new version, in some cases, yes, we will run into problems. So that is why we thought it is a very good idea to give the metadata in the form of various reports. So what we suggest to our customers is when they actually move on to the new version and then implement that custom object, if at all they run into any problems, they can come and take a look at the metadata reports and then see what are all the changes that Oracle has made from this version to other version with respect to these objects. these components. If it is going to be a particular module or a particular package API that they've changed, or a particular table that they've changed, whatever it is, we give the metadata in the form of various reports. So we thought that will help the customers solve the problem that they face in the new instance.
Okay, some tools, what I have used says what is the issue to be fixed. It is something like it used to be PO supplier solve, it has changed to PO vendor solve. It will only indicate the line of the code which needs to be changed. And some tools and clearly tell us what to change. It will say in this particular line of the code, instead of these column names, you may have to go and change it. I haven't seen any tool which does the change for you. It always makes you to do the changes. But how does your tool work? Does it say where to fix, or does it also say how to fix? Did I make the question clear? Or
yeah, so you are asking if we are only giving suggestions for, on where exactly the changes have to be made, or do we actually do the changes?
No. There are 3 levels. One is where a fix has to be done. Second is what needs to be fixed. Third is fixing the code itself. I have not seen any tool doing the third one. And whether your tool does the second one, which is what fix has to be done. What the new table name or new column name.
Yes. So the second part, definitely our tool does. What fix has to be done, we give it in detail. As I said, we also give additional details on the related Oracle objects as well. So we give that complete information on what exactly has to be fixed. And on the third part, it depends on the requirement. We have tried to build that functionality in the recent past on doing that change itself. But we have provided a facility where we ask, we have enabled a button to get it as an input. So if they want us to make the change, we do the change, and then we give a copy of that object to be downloaded.
It was very useful.
Okay. Sorry that we have already passed 3 minutes above our deadline. There is another question from Narayan Vedantam. So I think we will be answering that question via email, if that's okay. So I think with this, we can conclude our session for today. If you have any further questions, kindly reach out to us. Thank you very much for the wonderful audience today. So before we leave, I just wanted to reiterate that this Oraculous is a new webinars that we are starting, and we'll be inviting more industrial experts to talk about Oracle. So I request everyone to follow our LinkedIn and Facebook page, and take a few moments to share your experience of this webinar on LinkedIn and Facebook. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.